welcome everyone to the X-Men Monday podcast, episode 25. My name is Ryan. As always, with me is Alan, and how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
I wasn't sure we were going to be able to make it for this episode.
I know.
So many issues. I'm still not even sure if we're going to make it, but we're gonna do our best to make this happen. Our recording is a little botchy this time around. I had some hiccups on my side. When life gets in the way, it kind of sucks. But let's go ahead and get some house stuff out of the way real quick. You can find all of our episodes at columbuscomicscorner.podbean.com and on iTunes as well. And I should say more on episodes. Well, this episode's as far as X-Men Monday goes, but we have other shows as well that might pique your interest, so make sure you go check that out. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at Comics Corner Pod, and we also have a website, which is columbuscomicscorner.tumblr.com, and we are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network, so we definitely greatly appreciate their support over there. It's always good to have people on your side. But everyone, we are a spoilers podcast, so if you have not read the X-Men books that were released last week, hit pause, come back after you read them, or if you just want to hear our thoughts before you go out and buy the books, go ahead and stick around. But since we are on a bit of a tight schedule, we're not gonna try to rush this episode too much, but we are going to skip the news themselves. But we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into the books. But when we come back next week, we will hopefully have more news to touch on as well. But we will touch and give our thoughts on the whole New Mutants miniseries. But Danger, let's go ahead and get into the first book.
Secret Warriors number 9, written by Matthew Rosenberg, who's a big Promise Ring fan. Art from Javier Garron, Will Robson, and Israel Silva, with letters from VC's Clayton Cowles.
Magic, Kamala Khan, and Daisy place all the children back with their families, while Moon Girl looks into the reason of the kidnapping. Dark Beast and his cronies track them down for the use of a rad splash page. During this, Sinister makes an appearance to propose a deal for the return of Inferno's niece, and that'll involve Karnak's assistance. Shortly after, Moon Girl gets called out for having contact with him, and now in order to keep them off his trail, Karnak creates a roadblock and displays the experiments undergone at Sinister's lab.
Well, second issue into this arc, and I have to admit that I am not disappointed. They kind of calmed it down a little bit, but at the same time ramped up a few things.
Right.
It was very awesome to see that giant fight on that splash page. I don't know if you picked up on Dark Beast, like just hanging out doing his little
on the laptop.
On his laptop.
Yeah, he was like trying to get all the information off of Moon Girl's laptop there. No, that was good. That was one of my favorite parts.
Oh man, that was also one of my favorite parts too. Obviously, I'm excited to see more Dark Beast. It was good to see Sinister in here. Sinister's a little snarky now.
Yes, he is. Especially when, we'll kind of get into some of the scenes later. But what were some of your other overall thoughts, though?
It's interesting seeing the team kind of bounce off each other now. Definitely good seeing Magic. Yeah, Magic. I love Magic with this team. Like, just her dry wit is just hilarious to me. Her and Moon Girl are definitely my high points of the group. And then Karnak was funny in this too. Karnak was hilarious.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick too at the same time. I guess he's always kind of been a dick, but I can't tell if I should be rooting for him or if I should be on the Quake's Daisy side and be like, no, you should not be dealing with him. He is a bad person. Because by the end, you're made to believe he might be a bad person, but he has positive motives. It's odd.
Yeah. It was weird because I'm like, don't trust him. And then he places that phone call that kind of gives them the positive press. But at the same time, it kind of seems like he may have known Sinister was up to something extra. And then his scene where he bursts into the office and asked for $2.3 million. That was funny. And the guy was like, we can't do that. We don't have the money. He's like, oh, you mean the $2.3 million that you have in an offshore account?
Mm-hmm.
So Karnak was he was all over the place on this book. One moment he's just straight hilarious, and the other moment you're like, do I trust him or do I not trust him?
Exactly. Yeah, as far as this issue goes, I thought, not a lot to analyze here just yet. I think we didn't necessarily take a step back, but it didn't necessarily move the plot forward too much. But I think Karnak and Sinister are going to be the main focus, especially whatever Karnak's working on, and what he needs $2.5 million for. Because I think he's trying to he had I forget, I can't remember off the top of my head, but for his new project, everything seems to matter. But I'm trying to remember because Moon Girl made a mention of what he was trying to do, like trying to turn them into, the kids into Inhumans, because they hadn't been. I can't remember.
Yeah, they're trying to. Well, Dark Beast and Sinister were trying to recreate Terrigen, and it seems like Karnak is maybe not necessarily Terrigen, but trying to find another way for
maybe that's
Inhumans to be activated.
Yeah, maybe that's what's the mystery of it all. Because I'm still not clear on what his motives are just yet. But in the meantime, he's coming off as a dick while he does it.
Yeah, but then again, he is Karnak, so
right, exactly. And I love how the issue kicks off with the team returning the kids to the family. They kind of get one over on Sinister, but when we see Dark Beast show up in that splash page, he's not too happy. With Sinister's entrance, it was pretty cool because I was actually fearful for Quake at that point because he was choking her out. I was like, something's got to save her. And luckily, Sinister walked in because. Yeah, she would have probably been done for.
Yeah, his little comment, he was like, "Can you vibrate my arm fast enough before you pass out?" I don't think you can.
No, you can't. But I'm still loving how each character has their own voice. I'm loving reading it for that particular reason. Even if I wasn't invested in this particular story, like the characters, this team of characters would definitely keep me around just to see what they're up to. But yeah, I think one of my favorite scenes was when Sinister was actually talking to Magic and kind of reacquainting himself with her and acquainting himself with the other team. He was throwing a lot of shade her way. Like, I didn't expect you to be rolling around with a bunch of Inhumans.
It was kind of like, you're on the wrong side of the universe, right? Like, you're supposed to be hanging with the mutants and you're over here with these guys. And
yeah, got a lot of shade thrown her way, unfortunately. Even Inferno had some good quips in here as well. Like when he found out that Karnak and Moon Girl had been talking, he actually, when the Moon Girl calls him, he gets on the phone real quick.
Yeah, he hijacks the phone call.
Yeah, his whole exchange when he pulls the kid aside, he's like, "We're jumping around, saving these kids, taking them back to where are you from, kid? Desmo in Iowa. Desmo in Iowa." So that was good to see. Yeah, I mean the comedy in this series so far is really doing me wonders. It's very natural, and I don't know, it's a very good fit for this team, I feel.
Now on another show we did Champions a bunch of times, and we would often talk about the comedy there, and it seems like when you deal with the books with the younger kids, like it's just a way to capture that innocence and that, like you just said, that comedy differently than when it's like the adult teams. And I think like some of these things that we probably wouldn't like if it was an adult team work better when it's children. And I think that's the case here. I think a lot of it because normally I'm not a fan of Inferno. I don't really like Inferno. But in this book, I like Inferno.
Yeah,
that whole, like you said, that whole scene with him talking to Karnak, that was hilarious. That was really funny. So that comedy works for the fact that we're dealing with children. Moon Girl, her little comment about I'm probably not smarter. She's like, I'm smarter than you'll ever be.
Yes, that was. I put that in my notes as well. Yeah, shit, because that's when she's like defending Karnak, and he's like, and who was it?
Don't talk to me like I'm a little girl.
Yeah, was it?
He's
Quaker,
like, you are a little girl.
I think Kamala Khan. That's who it was. Yeah, she was like,
it was Kamala Khan.
Yeah, because she gave her kind of she was like, don't give me that. You're acting like a child. She's like, no. One, I may be a child, but I will always be smarter than you. I was like, mic drop.
Mic drop. Walk away, Moon Girl. Walk away.
Walk away, please. But what did you think of the art? Granted, it's the same artist from the last book, but any changes?
It is the same artist. Certain places, I think maybe could have been a little bit better. Overall, it's not terrible. Overall, I can still get the feeling from the last issue, but there's just certain, like there's one panel in particular I'm looking at with Sinister where like Sinister just looks funny. His face just looks a little funny. Yeah,
there was one with Moon Girl too that she looked kind of goofy looking.
Moon Girl had one. I know Sinister had one, and I know Inferno had one towards the end.
Yeah, I love there was one part when Sinister's actually talking about that's when he brings his niece into the room, and you see
that's the part.
Yeah, you see in the background. Yeah, Sinister kind of looks like a John Romita Jr. drawing of Sinister. Not in a necessarily bad way, but Inferno, he's really cool because as each panel goes on, he's getting more pissed, and the flames are starting to engulf around him. I thought that was really cool.
Yes.
And yeah, it definitely has like a cartoony vibe. One of my notes was like it screams like Mega Man 90s cartoon animation feel. Do you get you get that feel as well?
Yes.
Yeah, you see that now?
I definitely get that, yeah.
But overall, yeah, I'm still enjoying everything. Even the nice touch of the fact that Magic can't always keep bouncing around. She might need to take a break every once in a while.
Yeah, she's actually getting tired.
Yep, travel so far.
I think that's something that I can't recall right off the top of my head ever really seeing them.
Yeah, at least
discuss.
We don't see it much.
It's how her power. Yeah, we don't see much where we see that her because Nightcrawler's teleportation, you can see that would probably drain him.
Mm-hmm.
Magic's doesn't seem like it would be that draining, but we do see it here. She's like, "Yeah, I'm getting tired. I can't keep doing this."
Yeah, I recall back to that first. I think it was the first or second issue to Jean Grey when Pickles couldn't. He was talking, but he's like food. It was like a food symbol plus sleep or something like that equals more BAMF. That was really cool. I think that was a Psylocke episode or issue.
I think that was a Psylocke one, yeah. But you're right. We see that these teleporters, just looking at it, we think like, oh, their powers are probably the least draining powers. But it's like, no, everybody who has an ability it takes a drain on them.
Right, exactly. But overall, I'm still loving this book. I may not sound as enthusiastic as I would be because, again, today was a long day, and I felt bad. I was like, I can't leave Alan hanging. I can't leave the people who download this every Monday hanging. We got to figure out a way. And sorry if the audio is any bad in any form or way, but hopefully we should be back to normal next week. But you got anything else on this? You want to kind of move on?
Same here. I'm also I'm still invested in this. I still like where this is going, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next issue.
Yeah, I guess we kind of should touch on the cliffhanger because I kind of browsed over that in my BAMF. But yeah, essentially, Sinister planted a bomb in all these kids, and that's what how did Karnak know that sort of thing might or may not happen? That's why it makes me it's hard to juggle where I know he stands on the good side, but his approaches to this is just very villainous. So who knows what's going to happen with that?
Yeah, kid bombs now.
Yeah.
Which was a turn I did not think was going to happen. I didn't think that was going to be something that we would say after reading this book.
Right.
But yeah, and like you said, Karnak seems to know that this is going to happen. So that's that part where it's like, do we trust him? Do we not trust him? I mean, if he knew it was going to happen, why would he set them up
Yeah. Because he was like, well, I don't want the Secret Warriors on my case right now, so I got to distract them somewhere or another. Maybe he just didn't.
Exactly.
Maybe he didn't expect the kid bomb, and he was just trying to cause a little roadblock with all the news reporters. Who knows? But what's gonna be your score on Secret Warriors number 9?
Number 9, I'm gonna give it a 7, a solid 7. I believe that's a step back from what I gave the last issue. I think it didn't really necessarily move the story too much further, and there were some slight discrepancies in the art, but overall, it still has me anxious to see what's going to happen with this art.
For sure. That's what's up. Cool. I'm going to go with a 8.5. I think I'm going 0.5 lower than I did last time. I think I gave the first one a 9. I'm going to go 8.5 because, we didn't necessarily get a lot of movement in the story so far, but I always come back for the characters themselves. I really like the art all around, besides a couple faces. But yeah, 8.5 on my end. With that being said, what are we talking about next, Danger?
Jean Grey number 9, written by Dennis Hopeless. Art from Victor Ibanez and J. David Ramos. With letters from VC's Travis Lanham.
Emma babysits Jean's comatose body, while Force Ghost Jean is there to provide the reader a look into her current state of mind. Hope Summers has given me even more of a reason why she needs her own maxi series where she leads an X-Force team. She's alerted at that point that a cosmic entity is making its way to the Xavier Institute, packing up her cache of firearms and hopping on her multi-use space bike and heads to the school. You would think it's a psychic LARPing meetup when several of them come together, coming face to face with the almighty Phoenix Force.
I just want to say that this was an amazing issue. I need them to do something with Hope. Like, this is the second time in Jean's book that we've kind of seen Hope.
Right.
And both times she's been awesome and amazing. So I agree with you. She needs her own little like maxi series. Likewise, it was hilarious seeing more Emma. I talked before about being slightly disappointed they didn't go the route of still having Emma be insane over what happened to IVX. But this Emma was hilarious, especially when she interacted with both Force Jean and with the Cuckoos, which it was great to see the Cuckoos again. And I mean, what can I say? The Phoenix is here. It's not coming. It's here.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And they make an emphasis on that with the dialogue, which I loved. My only small gripe, we get another weird time jump from the last issue to this one. I was a little thrown off at first, but it doesn't. Again, it's very small gripe. But other than that, this really soars up until the end for me. This issue was freaking amazing. Jean not on the forefront, and we see a lot more of the side characters as well. And we'll see it kind of that same trend in the next book we talk about. But yeah, Emma and Force Ghost Jean like the main focus, and I think it was needed because we got that great conversation between them throughout, and then the reason why Emma kept the Phoenix Force around, and she was pretty much like, hey, like you had your love with Scott, I had mine. That's what kept me. That's the last piece I had to hold on to, and all the power that it gave her.
I'm glad you said that because I was gonna comment on the fact that she also spoke on why she kept that little piece in that memory because that was like Jean's worst memory, but she was like, but that was one of the best memories for me because that was the beginning of her love story with Scott.
And I believed it all. I believed it.
I did too. And I believe their whole conversation with each other through the whole book.
Same here.
It didn't seem over the top, and it didn't seem forced. It kind of seemed like this was a natural conversation they should have been had.
Yeah, and there was some great stuff in there as well because at one point, I think it's when they're walking through the hospital, and Emma's like, you've kind of changed lately, and Force Ghost Jean's like, I mean, I died, I came back, and now I'm trying to make sure that this young Jean doesn't go through the same thing. I'm taking looser tactics. Just within those like little pieces of dialogue there, everything is explained for because we had some gripes with like the way that Force Ghost is being portrayed. She was really coming off very a lot of anger in her.
Emma, which they commented on here that she was acting a lot like Emma.
Acting a lot like Emma as well. Yes, exactly. And yeah, it's all explained within just a couple pieces of dialogue. And I think probably my favorite dialogue this week, hands down, was Psychic Arson wins the cup. That just touched me for some reason. I was like, that's an awesome line.
Oh man, can we talk about Hope a little bit more? Because
that was my next topic.
I just happened to flip to Hope's bunker, and just the opening scene of her like polishing all her guns was like,
checking the
cable razor,
checking the stock.
Which they commented on later, where they was like, Cable can't be allowed to raise children.
Nope. No, it really is like father, like daughter in this, like easily. it's awesome. Yeah, just from like and her space bike, and the whole space bike to it kind of remind me of like a Kira, but mixed with something that Hope would make, like motorcycle bike. You know what I mean?
She had a Star Wars bike. The bike made me think of
that too.
If anybody saw The Force Awakens, it made me think of Rey's speeder bike that she was riding on. She had a speeder bike just like that.
Yeah, and I remember it kind of gave me the feeling of what was the old race game that Star Wars had?
Oh, the
64
pod
one,
racing.
the pod racing one. I got that feeling from it as well.
Oh wow!
But yeah, with Hope's entrance when she makes it to the institute, or not, can't really say institute. It was like kind of outside, in the woods area. But yeah, her entrance was freaking amazing. Like she lands, it turns into from a space bike to a computer with a satellite dish on it. I was just, and Victor Ivan's art. I'll touch on the art later, but I might as well just touch on it now as well. The art's freaking amazing as well. Perfect inking colors with the soft digital colors. It was
bravo.
Everything was perfect with the art. But Hope was amazing.
I hate to jump off of Hope, but we need to step back a page from Hope's entrance because someone else made an entrance in this book and in this story, and that was Quentin.
Oh, I was going to say
Quentin made an entrance. Who were you thinking?
Cable's arm made an entrance too. It went at the bunker.
Cable's arm had a guest appearance in the book.
Brought me back to Dennis Hopeless's X-Force run with him. Even more reason why we need X-Force title led by Hope Summers.
It'd be amazing.
It would be amazing. But yeah, even Quentin, speaking on Quentin, I actually liked him in this issue. He didn't really, push me it didn't push any of my wrong buttons. It just worked. And that's
because he said very little. That's why.
That's probably why. It could be why. Yes.
He showed up. He shot Jean in the head with a psychic bullet, and then he made a comment about it, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, what else is there to touch on really? And if they do, I hope they do. But if they do an X-Force with Jean or Hope Summers, you can make it an Elseworlds story. I don't need it to be in continuity. Mm-hmm. Just go bonkers with it.
She can like travel through time and space and end up in another world, and ooh man, she can go to like her own version of Age of Apocalypse or something and lead the X-Force scene. There we go.
But let's go ahead and touch on the psychic meetup outside of Westchester. And the fact that Emma even mentions that she's not on good terms with the X-Men. So yeah, things are still not right, but she needs the help of the Cuckoos, Quentin, all the psychics for the most part. Besides, we haven't, outside of like Psylocke, which I'm assuming we're probably going to be getting all the psychics that we've seen so far are probably going to be coming together soon, I bet. And it's going to be freaking epic.
Probably. Yeah, I think it's going to be epic. If that's like the end of the arc is like some kind of giant meetup with all the psychics while young Jean battles the Phoenix Force.
Infinity
Man,
Psychic
that might
War.
be amazing. Yes.
But yeah, with the entrance of the Cuckoos, that was all great. Even Emma was like tired of this snark. She was like, "Drop your snark. I need your help. Give me all the crap you want later."
She's like, "Read my brain; it'll be faster."
Yes. And then I knew you read this digitally in the Marvel app as well, right? Unless you got your physical copy out too.
I was in the app.
Okay. Were you reading? Were you reading a guided view when all this the Cuckoos and Emma started to go into Jean's brain?
Yes.
Yeah, that was when you see each panel, and then when it opens up, it's like the blast off of Jean's in flames. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was good to see.
And I have to admit that was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm liking Guided View for that reason.
It's perfect for that reason.
Guided View made that amazing.
Very, it's like watching a movie. It's, I love Guided View. Maybe they'll sponsor us one day if they're a real company out there. But that's where we get Quentin, and he's just there for the fireworks, as he mentioned, and pulls his trick that he did. Yeah, eating a sandwich, and he pulled his trick from the last issue. Not last issue, but when we saw him previously, and he used his psychic gun to knock her out. But it actually worked, and Emma kind of gives him crap for it. But yeah, it actually worked, and again, it was just a nice touch to see Quentin in that form. I'm assuming this probably takes place before Generation X, or maybe after. Who knows? I'd love to.
This could be one of his many times going off alone by himself.
It could be. But what else? Yeah, Hope was. Yeah, it was rock and roll. This whole issue is very, very rock and roll. But it will be sad when this series ends. Yeah, but I think it will join the list of, like, it's going to be one of those guaranteed series where I read at least once or twice a year, hands down.
You're gonna go back and reminisce.
Oh, I definitely will, because there's just so much goodness in here. Even with the art, I'm glad.
Agreed.
Victor Ibanez and J. David Ramos are back together again. We had them for the last issue. I hope when this series does end, Marvel does put them on another book, because I'm definitely going to be following to see wherever they go as well, because, yeah, solid stuff. And with the anime Akira bike, I'm all in. And also, just even the smallest thing, like the flame singes, kind of going back to Guided View, when Jean when she's in the hospital, she yells out help, and you see like the singes around her, just perfect. And one of the things, kind of going on my art ramble, it's natural pencils over those natural pencils and inks with the digital colors. Yeah, I love it. Excuse me. But it's funny. Speaking of Jean, she comes back at the end of the issue with some dialogue, and Quentin was like, "That was awesome as well." Quentin's like, "That's a way to make an entrance," and I was like, "Yeah, it was." Yeah. Dennis Hopeless can sense what readers feel and want in comic books, and he's a great writer. But what else? What else you got on this?
I think we've touched on all of it. I mean, you touched on all the art aspects just now. Definitely great use of colors, and I know you're a fan of more of the traditional versus the digital stuff. But I mean, from what was digital in here, it was used well and blended well with the traditional style. So, bravo
Indeed. Yeah, can't wait to see. And this feels like this would be like a penultimate issue, but we have 2 issues left, and that makes me even more excited. Even more excited. Then we'll see how this all goes into Resurrection, or Phoenix Resurrection.
Yes.
Yes, we will. All right, man. Well, what is going to be your score for Jean Grey number 9?
Well, funny enough, I'm going to give Jean Grey number 9 a 9. And that's just because I since it's almost at the end of the arc, I really don't want to go too much higher than that, because I want to wait and see. But I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed everything about this issue. The dialogue, definitely Hope was amazing.
Yeah.
Even Quentin, like everything about it, I was excited to see the Cuckoos. Everything about this issue I loved. So I'm gonna let it sit at a 9 for this week.
All right. I'm going with a little higher than you with a 9.8. I loved this issue. There was just so much fun within it. Never a dull moment, even with like the going to the hospital, when that could have seen dull. I was still engaged in the dialogue, in their conversation. The conversations that we got out of here were all amazing. The art is phenomenal. Again, this team is hands down one of the best right now. And it's going to be one of these, like I said, it's going to be one of these series that I go back and read at least once or twice a year. And I can't give it a 10 just yet. I hope with the last issue, I'll give it a firing 10. But we'll see. But right now, I'm sticking with the 9.8 because I loved it. But yeah, let's stop gushing. And what are we talking about next, Danger?
Old Man Logan number 31. Written by Ed Brisson. Art from Mike Deodato Jr. and Frank Martin. Someone give these 2 a raise. With letters from VC's Corey Petit.
After strolling through Tokyo, Old Man Logan saves somebody being assaulted by some thugs, where he realizes that they can regenerate. We find out then that there is a drug being made by Harato, the Silver Samurai, who ends up getting into a battle with the Hand, and is defeated by a new samurai on the scene known as the Scarlet Samurai.
Ed Brisson must be on cloud 9, I think, when he gets these pages from Deodato Jr. and Frank Martin. Let's get the art out of the way real quick, because that's a lot of my discussion, actually.
Amazing.
Yeah, freaking amazing. I'll actually we'll save the art for later. But yeah, I'm invested in this I was invested from this from start to finish. Cool little setup for what's to come. And I was kind of mentioning earlier with Jean Grey, we didn't, as this issue as well, it wasn't a lot of focus on Logan. It was more establishing the threat, I thought. And that was a good move on their part. I swear that sometimes it feels like they work in sync with each other and bouncing ideas. But yeah, again, even though it's a twist of something familiar, in the end, I still want to see where Old Man Logan ends up, especially with post Legacy, and where Wolverine's kind of going around. At some point, I do want to see a fresh take. I'm still behind my stance on that, but I'm having a lot of fun with this right now still. But yeah, when I read the series, it's like, entering Brisson's world, and he has a really cool, he's putting a cool, unique stamp on the X-Men lore of this character. But yeah, what were some of your overall thoughts, man?
I want to say that in the beginning of the issue, they did kind of hint at something I said should happen with Old Man Logan, because he talks about, like, I can live in the woods, I can live in a cabin.
I thought about you when I saw that. I was like, oh.
Oh, was that all right?
We'll see.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was good to see that this Logan is kind of reminiscent a little bit while he's here. Like, he's going places. I mean, technically he can't go to Tokyo in his world. So, he's kind of walking down memory lane, which is pretty cool to see.
That was. It kind of feels like
it was awesome
too when I read this. It doesn't necessarily feel like Old Man Logan, like an old grumpy guy. He's still grumpy, but a lot of like old school Wolverine actually showed in this for me.
I think that being here has softened the old grumpy part of him, because now he's in a world where he didn't kill everybody and his friends are alive. He can go to these places and he can have these memories.
Right.
Because for the most part, from what we know, his world was exactly like 616 up until that point where he killed everybody. So for the most part, he does have the exact same memories, feelings, and emotions that our Wolverine has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it's more. I think right now, I feel like Ed Brisson's like writing the character more appropriately than on the team books or especially Weapon X right now. So it's just really refreshing for me.
Agreed. I think he's written much better in the Old Man Logan series than in other series that he's in. It was great seeing Silver Samurai. Oh my goodness, was it great to see Silver Samurai.
What's going on? I'm not super familiar with Silver Samurai, but I still went with the whole story and I was really digging it. It was awesome.
Well,
that's
he
like the main
is
focus of the issue.
Yeah, it's Silver Samurai, who is one of Wolverine's classic foes. He's up there with Sabretooth and Deathstrike as far as classic villains of Wolverine. Obviously, anybody who knows of him knows the history between the two characters and the beef that they have and why they don't like each other. But it was amazing seeing him with some new armor. I've never seen him with this armor before. I'm used to the old school big bulky armor, the traditional samurai armor. I like the new Iron Man almost-ish armor. And I enjoyed the fact that the Hand went after him.
The Hand. Oh, and not to take away from Brisson's dialogue, which I love, but Deodato Jr. steals the show. I should say the art team steals the show with this. I'll go ahead and touch on the Hand real quick.
When they're scaling the building?
When they are scaling that building, that was just beautiful. Beautiful. And you follow it as you go down with the panel breaking up too.
And then you turn the page and they bust in the window and you just see the panels of him just cutting everybody down.
Have you seen Belly?
Yes.
Okay. When the Silver Samurai is getting his ass kicked, or not getting his ass, he's kicking the ass of all the Hand members, and he's like, "Oh, this is an easy task. What are you doing here?"
Yeah, he's like, "I'm the real Don Dada."
Yeah,
that's where you're headed with it, right?
Yes. Yep, exactly. And then you see the
same premise, because it was a female assassin. Female
assassin. I got so much joy out of that. I'm glad you know where I'm going with this, because it warmed my heart. And then that's when she stabs, because she just comes out of nowhere, and I just had the music playing in my ears as it's going down. I was like, oh. Fucking, I love it.
And she's like, Scarlet Samurai.
Yes, this was good. Yeah, I'm all for the Scarlet Samurai, to see where that all goes. But wow, just what else is there? I'm gonna get entranced in the art right now. You got your 80s villain, jerk off villain, which I dug, who kind of looks like Shang Tsung, the guy who played Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat.
Yes, you are correct. He does. I wonder if that was intentional or not.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, a lot of my notes really are because we got the gist of the story. Like the gist of the story was somehow these two paths are going to cross with the Silver Samurai or the now Scarlet Samurai and Old Man Logan in a cool way, which it's not like an unexpected way, but it's kind of just coming together. But the main focus is setting up the Scarlet Spider, and I think the art does a really good job of doing that as well. And again, some of the nightlife shots that we got from when the opening panel when he's walking down the alley or the street, just lovely stuff as well. What else? Just all the art. Angel. Oh, the panel of. I think it was. Yeah, it was in here. It's when the two bad guys are meeting, or the guy who stole some of the serum and Harada, and they have a panel.
Yeah.
Of it's going through the car as he's like starting to form with the Silver Samurai armor. Just lovely stuff.
He's like walking. He's walking past the car, and you see him at the passenger side window, and he's first transforming, and then by the time he gets to the back of the car, he's got the armor on. Yeah, that was great.
Yes.
As was we don't normally say this, but I love the cover to this.
Yes.
We don't normally comment on covers too much. We don't comment on covers.
And I try, but I always forget. But yeah, all these, great. See, if I wasn't so thrown off today, I had that in my notes. I was gonna do this big thing, like, oh, great cover week, guys. No.
Yeah.
But
that is true. It was a great cover week. It makes me wonder, because I think this might be one of those few times where something on the cover is going to fit in with the story somehow. And I'm wondering if the Scarlet Samurai may be who I think it is.
Okay. You got some theories for me?
I have some theories. A lot of the beef, the main beef between Silver Samurai and Wolverine or Logan was over a woman. And from what I know, I thought she may have been dead, but of course these are comic books. Maybe she was resurrected by the Hand into a killing machine known as the Scarlet Samurai. Maybe that's why she took the term Scarlet Samurai as irony because of Silver Samurai. I don't know, but I'm thinking that's where it may go. I think that Old Man Logan is going to have the feels all over again when he finally meets her.
Oh yes, this is based on that cover. That's definitely
just based off the cover, and I hope it is the case. I hope that is the exact case. I would love that so much.
Yeah, good issue. Good start to everything so far. Not a lot to touch on in the plot, so to say. But again, it's more the art that really stole this first issue for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I love the when he's fighting the guys at first, and he's like, if I can't claw him up, I'll just have to do it another way. So he just does a classical, just knocks him right out. And I thought in my head,
should knock him out.
I was like, I was thinking of Friday when I saw that. I was like, you just got knocked the fuck out. And then he was able to figure out.
Man, this book has you referencing a lot of movies, didn't it?
Yep, easily. Then at one point when they're fighting again, he kind of knocks him into the deep freezer, and that's when he's able to now I can unleash. That's when he's able to get the answers that he needed. But yeah, that's all I really have, I think, for this issue right now. But you got anything else on this?
No, I'm just curious as to what your score is going to be on this.
I'm going to give this a 9.5, and that's mainly for the art. If there would have been more story here, this probably would have got a 10.
All right. Well, I'm going to sit close to you. Wow, what a week this turned out to be, right? I'm going to go with a 9 on this one.
Okay. I was hoping to have
that
all
is
9
also
week.
that'd have been amazing.
Yeah.
Partially because of the art, also because I think the route they chose to start this story off was very interesting. The fact that Old Man Logan is only on the first couple pages,
right? Everything else,
and then we don't see him.
Like the world
everything's in Japan. Even when we see Logan, but it's based around here's Silver Samurai. Here's how it's connected to what Old Man Logan's going through.
Right. Yeah. What
here's
I should have
the
said
hand.
was the characters in Japan. Yeah, the characters in Japan.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So I like the way that they did that. The fact that they chose to focus in more on setting up the other players rather than Old Man Logan.
Mm-hmm.
They immediately gave Old Man Logan the way that he's going to factor into the rest of this, and then they went and said, okay, this is how we're going to set the rest of this up, and this is what he's getting into.
Yeah, this book really does scream like 80s action movie. I say this all the time with Old Man Logan lately, but this is really solidified. I get this, I enter this like 80s action, good in a good way, 80s action film. Like I'm about to see Jean-Claude, fuck some people up, evil villains dropping people off of roofs.
Oh yeah, ninja scaling buildings.
Yes, bring it on. Yeah, for sure. But cool. Other than that, let's go ahead and move on to our last book of the evening.
X-Men Blue number 16. Written by Cullen Bunn. Art from Tony Silas, Rain Barreto. With letters from VC's Joe Caramagna.
After Cyclops and Bloodstorm have a heart-to-heart on the rooftop, we see that Magneto and Polaris are under attack. Jean quickly steps in and finds out that Magneto has been working with Professor X this whole entire time. After reading his mind, they find out about his secret time machine, which they take to an uncharted course. And then they quickly realize that they are in the year 2099, where we are greeted to seeing the X-Men of that year.
I gotta say, I'm surprised you're here to review this book, Alan. It's good to hear that you did not combust while reading this.
I almost did. I really almost did.
Yeah. But where to start though? I mean, there's a lot in here. It really does kick into gear right away. And I really appreciate the Mojo natural progression, because we didn't get that in Gold, and that was awesome to see, and it got me more entrenched for everything that was going on. And things feel as if they actually matter in some of these X books. So I like to see that. We got to focus on.
Is that funny though? Because they just did like 2 quick panels that reference the fact Mojo is still around and they know it.
Yep, and then because the Scott and Bloodstorm scene, and then we get Iceman just vegging out on Mojo's stuff, of course. But yeah, very very fast paced. Quick read as well. Maybe less splash pages. Focusing on some of those the 1 or 2 conversations that was going on, but maybe more story development. That would have been nice. It was still awesome. I had to turn the tablet a few times to read some of it. But what else? Oh yeah, unfortunately, I glanced at an article and I saw that the time machine was going to play a factor in this, but I was still excited because of the delivery behind it and all the sense of urgency that came along while I was reading it, and I didn't see it coming, so I really did appreciate that. And we get attached to these characters before shit hits the fan, as we get to focus on every one of them before everyone starts disappearing. But what were some of your overall thoughts though?
Yeah, like you said, from the jump, our opening scene is Magneto under what appeared to be a psychic attack. At first, I thought some psychic was attacking Magneto.
Same.
And then when we went to Cyclops and Bloodstorm, I was a little worried. They're like, are we trying to plant some kind of seed for something? Because that conversation...
That was, yeah, I see a possible seed, and we kind of see it when Jean's talking to Beast. And that's a conversation in itself as well. But yeah,
oh yeah,
I was like, okay, maybe they're going that route. Maybe she is just there maybe they're just building a strong friendship, just the way that it may have been portrayed. But yeah, it's hard to say. Mm-hmm. The first thing I thought of was, a little interracial relationships going on in the X-Men team. All right, I'm down with it.
Yeah, but I mean, not the first time, but hey.
No, not the first time.
So, and then, like you said, we got the moments with the other teams. So we got to see Iceman, and once again, great job in doing this where it's literally like 2 or 3 panels where he acknowledges like, well, I don't know why I'm watching this show on Mojo's station, he acknowledges that Mojo is still there, and that at some point in time they got to track down where he's at and stop whatever his plan is.
Nice little seed planted there.
Yeah, bravo! You acknowledge what just happened. Literally, what just happened. You're acknowledging.
Just happened, yep. Because opposed to Gold, where it felt like, again,
nothing happened.
Nothing happened, and that should have been before Mojoverse happened. I wonder if there was some weird scheduling hiccups there. But yeah, that's another conversation. But Xavier,
but then
what does this mean?
Yes. After we see that Polaris is the first one to disappear, and of course, like you said, after the conversation with Beast and Jean, that's when Jean meets up with Magneto, and he's like, "Read my mind," because he knows something's going on, and it's kind of like similar with what Emma did in Jean this week, where she's like, "Read my mind," because reading my mind to tell you everything you need to know would be faster than me trying to explain it to you.
Right.
And so she does, and that's when we realize, like, somehow Magneto has been working with Professor X. It begs the question.
There's a lot to explain.
Yes, because were you at when you saw that part? Were you like, so is this the Professor X is in the astral plane? Like,
I thought, is this the Professor X that's in the astral plane, or in Uncanny Avengers, where his brain was burned to a crisp? Or his psychic brain was burned to a crisp, or is just this 2099 Xavier, and it's just part of whatever plot that may be going on in 2099. But it just seems because Astonishing X-Men 6 comes out this week, and that's the end of that arc. So I'm wondering if this is going to line up in some weird way. Who knows? But they're throwing a lot of Xavier stuff at us right now. A lot.
They are. Maybe by the end of Astonishing X-Men, Xavier is back, but everybody doesn't know it yet. So that's why it's a surprise to them. Maybe that's the case. He's like, you know what? I'm back here. Let me take some time and get a breather, get readjusted to this reality before I just jump back out there.
There's a great theory out there. I can't remember who it is. They may listen to our show, but I forget. But they said possibly he goes into Phantom X's body. So I was like, yeah. The way that things have been going with that little relationship between the two could be a possibility. And
Phantom X is also a character they've always had trouble doing things with, so I mean, that'd be one way to make him interesting and or get rid of him.
Right, because it seems like they are trying to retcon him in some way or form within that last issue.
But we digress. Yes. After finding out that Magneto is working with some version of Professor X, he disappears, and that's when Jean also picked up in his mind about the time machine.
Yeah,
and of course, danger. Oh my goodness,
danger!
I had to drop a tear for you, Danger. I had to drop a tear for because. That's when they meet Danger, and they're kind of like, how come nobody ever knew this was here? Like, you kind of think one of us would have stumbled upon it.
Nope, and she has the perfect reply for that, yeah.
The perfect Danger reply that, she has her holographic displays all over the mansion, and if they would have came down there, she would have just changed it to look like something else.
Proper.
Which I was like, cool, I buy it, I love it, great. Awesome explanation. But then she disappears, and it's like, man, can they have anybody?
Yeah, because
now all the mentors are gone.
Right, because when Polaris disappears from Jimmy and Angel, Jimmy's not able to pick up his scent, and at that point, I was just like, uh-oh, something's going down. If he can't pick up his scent, somewhere in the time stream, things are getting very wonky. Maybe this is going to play into a timeline of the Phoenix Resurrection as well. Who knows? But Danger is someone to watch, though, because she is badass.
I mean, it could play into it, but this is also the moment right before Danger disappears that they had that conversation about why the time machine. Danger's like, well, Magneto wanted to help you guys get home. And Beast's like, well, we did go home, and there was already a version of us there, so that's not really our reality. And then she's like, are you sure about that? Which raised a very good question, and the whole time this is going on, as I'm reading this, I'm like, this is finally what we've been talking about with the young X-Men.
Yep.
Because they talk about the theory is that maybe somebody realizes who they actually are now, and they're taking advantage of that and
they found out
tinkering with time somehow.
So maybe, it begs the question if this is the real Xavier or if it's a villain.
It does, and that theory about something in 2099 that could be something. It wouldn't be Xavier, but I wouldn't put it past somebody tinkering with something in the past. I mean, they had a whole arc where Spider-Man 2099 came here and lived here for like a year or two. And he found out that certain things that happened here affected his future, but that's neither here nor there. Once they went into the time machine, I thought that was kind of awesome.
It was funny too, because like the way they tried to explain the science of it, in the end they were just like, "Yeah, there's no real science behind this. How this is all happening?"
Yeah, there's no real science. But it was funny because some of the moments they were going to, so it was like, oh, they went to the Savage Land, and then they went to Jean and Scott's wedding, which I have that issue that came from, which is hilarious. And the funniest one was when they went to the Phoenix and Jean's like, "Get out of here now."
Yeah, that was good. That was good. And it was awkward between the scene where Scott and Gina getting married, because they're all looking at Scott and Jean there. Well, there were some good comedic moments there. But yeah,
what was fun? Hold on. I just want to say what was funny was that in that scene, they look at Scott. He's like, and then both Jean and Bloodstorm are like at a loss for words. Like they just like.
Yeah, speaking of,
which is funny considering the possibility of what they set up earlier in the issue.
Right, I was gonna say, speaking of Bloodstorm and Cyclops, because at one point he even like defends her when Iceman kind of makes fun of her. She's like, "Oh, you would think the vampire of us would be down here trying to find a new coffin." That was pretty good. But that was pretty Scott kind of defends her, and who knows what's going on there. But I wonder if she's going to be sticking around. Who knows? Not sure.
Who knows? But
I'm not sure if we need her around necessarily. She's a cool character. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, well, yeah. But other than that, though, yeah, we're definitely at like a 2099 roadblock to see what's going on moving forward, and I'm pretty excited for it.
Well, when we got there,
because we talked off air and like about the fact that I'm not familiar with 2099, and you were kind of educating me on some of it.
Yes. Listen, I forgot that this was coming. I remember that they were doing something with time travel. I forgot it was there. I remember reading this, like, oh, that's how they're going to 2099. And if you remember, I had kept saying like they need to interact with the X-Men 2099. We need to see them again. Spider-Man 2099 has made a comeback in recent years, and him and the X-Men were the best thing about. You could argue Doom. But the X-Men and Spider-Man were the best thing about the 2099 series.
Yeah,
so to see them here,
2099, it was a cool design.
Oh yeah, the Super Chrome and yeah, it was a good series.
I'll have to check that out.
But to see the X-Men here, it's the whole team that I remember. Even one of them is finally because I never finished the whole series of 2099 of X-Men. But one of them was like deformed halfway through the series, and it's good to see that he may be back to normal. Like it was just awesome seeing. Like I recognized everybody on here.
Very cool.
And it's amazing to see them together. Like it was so good to see them.
Yeah, and when they enter that world too, the vibrant colors, it almost seems like a Las Vegas, a futuristic Las Vegas type of deal. It's really cool.
That's exactly what it's like, and I'm not sure what part of the 2099 they're in right now, but a lot of the story did actually take place in like the Las Vegas, the Nevada type area. Like they built that up into like a huge, colossal mega city.
Mm-hmm.
So, for all you know, you could be right. They could actually be in Vegas right now.
Very cool. Yeah, I do wish there was like a little bit more content because it was a quick read. And it really only focused on getting the team to 2099. But I think what took over was the fun factor of how like fast paced it was, and
it was the getting there, the ride getting there.
What's that?
I said the ride getting there. That's what was fun about it was the ride.
There. And then the the idea of Xavier being around and what form or who this could possibly even be, if Magneto believes it is Xavier. So there's a lot of questions to raise. Maybe even get some drama. Good old drama.
And then we get that awesome ending,
Well,
which came
that way.
I didn't, because I forgot. I didn't think they were going to actually put the X-Men in there. I just thought they would go to the world and that would be it. I didn't think they would actually resurrect the X-Men 2099. I didn't think they would. And my wife was sitting next to me when I was reading this, and my reaction was golden to her because I put the tablet down. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And she's like, "What?" And I just flipped it over, and she knows because she scanned so many of my my books. She knows about me in 2099, so she saw it and was like, "Oh, it's the X-Men." I was like, "Yes,
hell yeah,
yes, they listened. They brought them back.
Yep.
Now let's get
looks like the team's gonna have to pack the bags and possibly leave. Because maybe I'm wondering if 2099 is just like one little level they'll have to get past before going on to another universe, possibly. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot to look forward to in this arc right now.
I would love for them to stay there for a couple issues before, or at least one issue. I would love for the majority of the next issue to be 2099 before we send them packing somewhere. I need to reminisce with these characters and see, if maybe they've. Don't laugh at me.
Have a drink.
Don't laugh at me. Yeah, look at the 2099 scene. Look at them. You can't tell me you're not interested.
Oh, I'm interested.
You can't tell me.
I would do want. I was going to say I actually want at least 2 issues. Depending on how long the arc is, I wouldn't mind 2 issues of, or maybe at least one more issue, then maybe go somewhere else, or vice versa, or 2 issues of 2099, and then the ending place. Who knows?
Yeah, because this is a good chance for people like you who aren't really familiar with the world of 2099, and definitely aren't familiar with the X-Men, because a lot of people probably didn't even know there was an X-Men 2099.
I didn't know until probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think might have been last week's episode when we were talking off air. Me and Anthony were talking off air about X-Men.
Oh, it was a couple weeks ago.
It might have been a couple weeks ago. Me and him had that long conversation about this team. And what's funny is Skullfire and La Lunatica, those are the 2 people we were primarily talking about.
I like that name, Lunatica.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. La Lunatica.
Good stuff. Cool, man. We got anything else on this?
Whew. No, I don't. I could gush one, but it would be only about the X-Men 2099.
I figured. That being said, what's going to be your score? Oh, actually, I do want to touch on one thing. The art.
Go ahead.
We got to touch on the art. I really liked it a lot. My only issues, there was this whole small head, big body thing going on in a few spots. Didn't really work for me. Beast running into the room at one point. It was kind of reminded me of Pinhead. Something off of
Puppet Master.
Puppet Master, thank you. It was a little rough. But again, other than that, I thought the art was pretty solid. But, what's going to be your score?
My score is going to be a 9.6. I love the issue overall. I did enjoy the setup. I enjoyed some of the possible seeds that were planted. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the fact that we referenced something that just happened. I enjoyed the explanation of the possibility of what's going on with the young X-Men.
Right.
And of course, I enjoyed seeing
that forever.
Oh yeah. And I enjoyed seeing the X-Men of 2099. Honestly, if I'd had a little bit more of them, this may have been a 10 for me.
You're funny.
I'm biased. So biased with this.
Yeah, you are. That's what's up, though. No, if it works for you that way, it works. I'm going to go with a solid 9. The more I talked about it, okay. It got 2 more points. 0.2 higher than what I was going to give it.
Okay.
But yeah, again, there's a lot. After talking about it, it is a fun ride. There's a lot of questions to be asked. Again, entering this world, the thoughts that we're about to see, possibly where these X-Men are going to end up, especially with whatever's going on with Phoenix Resurrection. That has to have some sort of ripple. And kind of seeing where the Gene series is going right now, I wouldn't be surprised if young Jean is placed in a different world. Possibly. Who knows? Who knows? We're going to see how they play that out. But yeah, I'm going to give it a solid 9, though.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Well, with that being said, we made it, Alan. We made it. Almost made it. Because we are going to take a quick break.
Almost there.
Almost there. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with our Fastball Tweets. Let's go ahead and start with our first one. This was from RetconX at RetconX. I have to say, Mike Deodato is just killing it on Old Man Logan. I'm not sure what he's doing next, but I'll definitely plan on buying it. Yeah, whatever he's doing next, I am buying it as well. And yeah, he is killing it. Like we said during our discussion, most of my score came from his art. Brisson did a great job of setting up the story, don't get me wrong. But Deodato and Frank Martin were the stars of this issue.
Agreed. We've said time and time again, like the art has been amazing in Old Man Logan. It continues to not let us down.
No, easily. But yes, thank you for that as always, Retcon, and RetconX, and he has some solid music coming out, which we'll be touching on probably here in the next few weeks, I believe. And our next one is from our man Rob at 2MeMyXmen at 2MeMyXmen _Rob. That Jean Grey cover, fire emoji ×5. My favorite cover of the year and one of my favorites of all time. Yeah, he's big. Yeah, I had to throw the fire emojis in there. I had to make that happen. Yeah, the Jean Grey covers have been astounding, and this one, the package for that whole issue, from cover to back, like just.
Well, you were going to comment on Rob's love of what now?
Oh, love of the artist itself, Salvador Dali.
Yes, that's why I laughed so hard. I remember hearing about his passion for his art. It doesn't surprise me he felt that way about the cover. It was a great cover.
It was beautiful.
Agreed.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm sure you feel the same way as that.
Oh yeah, beautiful cover. Honestly, might be one of my favorite covers of the year. Also, could be one of my favorite X-Men covers of the year too.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that very soon as well, my friends. But yeah, thank you for that as always, Rob. And our next one's from Brandon J. Griffin, which I haven't heard from a while at Griff Funk, and thanks, buddy, for sending yours in. Jean Grey is too good to go anywhere. Even when older Jean comes back, it's almost engaging and fleshed. It's the most engaging and fleshed out Jean has ever been. That being said, Emma over Jean any day. And he also goes on to say, also, Deodato Jr. was born for Old Man Logan. Hey, checking in on Bloodstorm. She's still around. Why? Yeah, I understand.
Wow.
Yeah, touching on the Bloodstorm thing. I'm not sure why she's necessarily around. I don't know if she needs to be on the team. I'm in the camp if she doesn't need to be on the team. But Emma over Jean, this issue, yes, because not any day, but this issue in particular, yes, because Emma did shine in this issue for me. What else? Yeah, Deodato, we already gushed over as well. And this series, Jean Grey's series, shouldn't be going anywhere. It needs to spin out into something. Give us an apocalyptic story with young Jean, and Hope Summers. Boom. Boom. The redhead duo. Boom.
Wow. The real X-Men red.
The real, exactly. Oh, there we go. There's your next idea, Marvel. But what are some of your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, I would agree with this issue, Emma over Jean, even though we did get a greater insight as to why Jean's acting the way she's been acting, which once you see why, it's like, that does make kind of sense, and I can forgive it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But Emma was way more level-headed, way more calm about everything, and had way more of an idea of what to do.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's why I'm giving it to Emma this go around. Bloodstorm, yeah, I mean, we have Bloodstorm and we have Jimmy. We have two people where it's kind of why are they on the team, and kind of like, well, Maybe
here for
it'll
now.
play into this whole time travel thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to kind of touch on that as well. Maybe we'll lose them along the way of this travel.
It could be. They could be. They could find some places that fit for them. Like Bloodstorm might find a world full of vampires. He's like, I can live here.
There we go. But you got anything else on that one?
No.
Cool. All right, thank you as always, Brandon. And then our next one is from Daily X-Men Facts at Daily X-Men Facts, and he was going to be discussing Blue with us, but with today's technical difficulties, we weren't able to. So
before you get to this, I'm sorry to cut you off. Before you get to this, I was so hoping that earlier I was like, I hope he's going to be on there today because of the ending, and I wanted to geek out so hard with him over the 2099 team, but it's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll jump in there in our chat. You guys can do it up. But as always, we'll definitely have him on next week. But yeah, as he goes on to say, he says, great issue for Jean. Everything was so fascinating. Never imagined I'd be so excited, anxious for Phoenix appearing again. I'm still... This issue, I think, solidified it for me a bit. But we'll get into that. Then he also goes on to say, Secret Warriors continues to be awesome. Love the action in this issue. That double splash page. Even enjoying the balance of tension and humor. So I think me and you are definitely on the same page as him as far as Secret Warriors and Jean Grey goes, honestly.
Yeah, I think we're on the exact same page. I mean, first of all, that splash page was one of the things that we liked about Secret Warriors, like, immensely. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, do we even need to continue to talk about Jean? Like, sometimes certain books, I just kind of feel like we get to a point on the show where it's
Jean
like...
Grey deserves all the praise.
I don't mind praising it, but it's like, yeah, we love the team. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Does not let down, continues to be immense. I told you I can't wait to see where the series ends up going, so that we can actually like look back and see how good the run was.
Oh yes.
But
I
have high hopes. I have high hopes. If they end it properly, that's exactly what I'll be doing too.
Yeah, it'll be fun to go back and probably even do an episode on it. But thank you for that, Anthony, as always. And then our next one is from Alex Liu, who was able to actually get his fastball tweet in time due to the fact that we had technical difficulties. So, Alex, today's your lucky day, buddy. So, I'm going to need Hope to come in hot. Loving the Psy Squad. I found out it's so fascinating that Quentin shot young Jean. Get your life, hashtag Jean Grey Slade. Yes. Yes, indeed it did. Hope's coming in hot. But yeah, definitely a Side Squad. I mentioned in my review that this was a straight up like psychic meetup, and during my BAM for like a LARPing for all the psychics.
Yes, I meant to comment on that earlier. That was hilarious. The fact that they were LARPing. Psychic LARP session in the woods.
Right, exactly. What were some of your thoughts on that?
Look, I don't know if we can say enough more about Hope. Like, I think we all think that I think we can be under agreement that we need something with Hope. Yeah, like, Hope needs to, easily do something with Hope. But I mean, I'm sorry, I'm still hung over the LARP session. Like, this is getting to me.
But yeah, that is the Fastball Tweets. Thank you for dealing with us for this pitch potch of a episode that we did. I'm glad we came together. We were talking off air that, we haven't missed a week yet, as far even like our other podcasts as well. I don't know. We just love doing this, so I wanted to try to do everything in my power to make sure this happened. If you could only see my setup right now, you would laugh at the passion. At the passion that we have for this.
You told me about your Frankenstein setup.
But yeah, again, thanks for listening. I'm going to try, depending on whenever you listen to this, I'm going to try and post it early morning still. You might not see it till the afternoon, but it will be up on Monday, or today, by the time you're hearing this. But you got anything else on before we get... Oh, I got it. Wait. Before we get out of here. Look, I'm all thrown off. we got to talk about our books that we're talking about next week, because we have Astonishing X-Men number 6, which is going to be ending that arc, and that has been one of our top books. And then we have Iceman number 8, and we also have X-Men Gold number 17, taking on the Negative Zone War Part 2. So we're going to see where that goes. Hopefully Guggenheim can bounce back off of the weaker issue that we thought that it started with. But yeah, Astonishing.
Oh boy, I'm excited for next week's books.
Yes. But cool. You got anything else before we get out of here, man?
No, just tune into the next show and enjoy us talking about these books.
Yes, every Sunday. We can't miss a week.
No, we gotta make it happen.
Especially, because we see the downloads that people are coming in, all the feedback. That's what really helps us drive to make sure we can still get it out there for you, because we love doing this and we love the fact you're listening to us. So yeah, we're seeing the downloads and they are fucking awesome. So really thank you, everyone.
I don't think that. I think that's something that we never really comment too much on, to the people, is that we actually do listen to your feedback and we do take into consideration everything that you guys do, whether it be downloading, whether it be sharing, whether it be the tweets, like all the comments, tweets. Everything. We take all that into consideration and we really enjoy. I love doing the fastball tweets. I'm sorry I never get on with any of you guys and discuss your tweets, on Twitter. But the way we're setting this up, I kind of can't do that.
You're banned. Don't have access to the
pretty
Twitter.
much. Yeah, I kind of have to, wait and hear what you guys tweet. But I love everything that everyone says, whether it be positive about a book or whether it be negative about a book that I love, So if someone was to get on there this week and say, like, oh, I hated X-Men Blue, I would still enjoy the tweet because that's something that you guys feel. So
cool. On that note, let's go ahead and get out of here, man.